Top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Charlotte Street murder-suicide leaves 2 dead, child injured. Missing and extra ballots uncovered for discipline services. GECOM still puzzled how it could have happened. Ministry of Health dispels claims that 19-year-old's death at Lima Hospital was caused by lack of oxygen. Is the RHO covering up the incident? And KWAKWANI secondary school students and teachers to be back in classroom by late September. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Tuesday, 26th August 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you should know this evening. A domestic dispute turned deadly on Charlotte Street in Georgetown Tuesday morning, leaving a woman and her husband dead and their 10-year-old son wounded in what police are treating as a murder-suicide. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Tragedy struck on Charlotte Street when 35-year-old ALETHEA Ramachan Solomon, an ExxonMobil employee, was shot dead by her husband, Alroy Solomon, who then turned a gun on himself. Their 10-year-old son, Jeremiah Solomon, was also injured and is now receiving treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC. Police confirmed that the woman had been living with her son at a rented Charlotte Street property for the past 3 months, after separating from her husband. Reports indicate the couple was in the middle of divorce proceedings. Reports also revealed that the couple's former home was destroyed in a fire suspected to be arson, forcing Ramachan Solomon and her son to relocate. Sharon Fraser, a resident who lives nearby, said she rushed outside after hearing gunshots. She recalled seeing Ramachan Solomon lying motionless while the child was in the passageway. Foster also revealed that gunfire had been heard in the area weeks earlier.
2 weeks ago, we hear gunshot coming from there, and when you check on the road, these are the pictures there, and my phone was on the ground. I don't know if the neighbors then reported.
The property owner's brother, Cowell Marks, told reporters that the couple's relationship had been in trouble for months. He said police were already investigating at least 2 shooting incidents at the property in recent weeks, both suspected to involve the husband.
But it seems to be a definite case of domestic violence. She was having problems with the individual, but they still remain. He will still come and visit. He will still be on the property from time to time to take her places. So I think they share a vehicle, so he would drive the vehicle, he would drop their places. There is an ongoing investigation, police investigation, into a shooting incident that happened twice on the residence, where they suspected it was him.
A police investigation is underway. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Guyana Elections Commission is still puzzled how missing and extra ballots were found to be the case during the sorting of the discipline services ballots. Travis Chase is on that story.
The Guyana Elections Commission reports that the voter turnout for the discipline services stands at 83%. The elections body faced some hiccups during the sorting of the ballots from the discipline services. Chief Elections Officer Vishnu Prasad updated the press on the issue Monday afternoon.
We ran into a situation where we have 2 extra ballots in the set of ballots for District 4. 1 short for District 5 and 1 short for District 10.
Prasad explained that the ballots of discipline services members are usually sorted and sent to the various districts of those who cast their ballots for intermixing with the rest of ballots on elections day. He said at this stage, the Guyana Elections Commission is still deliberating on what could have caused the issue.
Our interrogation of this matter has led us to a point where we have zoned in on what could have caused this problem. At this stage, a memo has been prepared to be submitted to the Commission along with recommendations and a methodology to be used to fix this problem.
He said the contents of that memo will only be discussed at the level of GECOM.
It is only at that point that we will be able to give you a further on this one.
According to GECOM, just over 10,000 members of the Guyana Police Force, Guyana Defense Force, and the Prison Service were listed to vote last Friday, ahead of the rest of the country. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, the Ethnic Relations Commission, the ERC, has issued a reminder to all Guyanese that freedom of association and political choice is a constitutional right. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the Commission urged the citizens to ensure that the 2025 general and regional elections are conducted in an atmosphere of peace and respect. It also underscored that every individual has the right to support the political party of their choice without intimidation, harassment, or fear. The Commission cited Article 147(1) of the Constitution, which guarantees freedom of assembly and association, including the right to form or belong to a political party. The Commission called on citizens to remember that political opponents are not enemies and that visible support for different parties is a sign of a healthy democracy. It urged political leaders and campaigners to set an example by discouraging hostility towards supporters or rival groups, whether in public spaces or online. The High Court will continue to hear the case brought by Forward Guyana Movement, FGM, challenging the Guyana Elections Commission's GECOM ballot practices on Wednesday. The case was adjourned so that the FGM's attorney could properly prepare his rebuttal to the arguments made by the Attorney General and the GECOM's attorney. Marvin Cato reports.
Forward Guyana Movement FGM's case against the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM continued into its second day of arguments. Submissions were made by FGM's attorney, Dr. Vivian Williams. In his submissions, he pointed out what he deemed as a flagrant disregard for the rule of law and in contravention to the Constitution.
The Attorney General and GECOM, in their presentation to the court, tried to describe the issue as to the right of a political party to contest the election, which is just one prong and a minor prong of the case. The case really is a party's democratic process. The case is brought by an individual that is contending that the right to vote has been sort of diluted.
Attorney General Anin Nandela, disappointed with the arguments made by Dr. Williams, made several objections because, in his view, the court was being led down the wrong path.
Because you had international observers, you had the media in the courts, and there was a distinct impression, like for people to believe, that our system is somehow flawed and somehow denies registered electors the right to vote. And I feel that that's completely wrong. So I detailed how our electoral system evolved from first past votes before independence, then proportional representation.
Nandela contends that FGM's arguments lack basis since Dr. Williams found it difficult to point out one area in the Representation of the People's Act to substantiate his claims.
And in all the cases, the CCJ, as well as our Court of our Chief Justice George here, interrogated in great detail the many aspects of our electoral system to address the issues raised by various persons who filed the cases. And they filed to make similar challenges. One person said by permitting only lists to qualify, denied persons from participating. Another one says that by putting limitations on the number of geographic constituencies, one must have to contest before one qualifies. To contest the election takes away their right to constitutionally participate in the electoral process of the country. Another one argued that the right to vote for someone who is not running and not qualified to run takes away his or her right to vote. So all these questions were put before courts before and answered. All those cases were dismissed. And the system as it now exists was upheld by these various court decisions.
Acting Chief Justice Navindra Singh adjourned the matter to Wednesday, in which Dr. Williams will respond to arguments presented by the Attorney General and GECOM's attorney. This is Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
More news after this. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. As we continue, the Ministry of Health has dispelled claims being made by a former member of parliament following the death of a 19-year-old patient at the recently commissioned $6.6 billion Lima Hospital on the Essequibo coast. Is the RHO trying to cover up the incident? Marvin Cato has more.
Former Member of Parliament and Region 2 resident Sherwin Holder posted on his Facebook on Tuesday, August 26, that just one day after the government's commissioning ceremony for the new Lima Regional Hospital, a 19-year-old anemic patient died allegedly due to the absence of oxygen. Holder's post claimed that sources close to the hospital disclosed that the patient was transferred from Charity Hospital in a stable condition, but upon his arrival at the Lima Hospital, he required oxygen, which was absent at the facility. He also claimed that the said source also noted, and I quote, that there has been yet another death, pushing the total to 2 since the hospital has been declared open less than 1 week ago. Staff has been warned not to speak with any media on these matters. However, a statement from the Ministry of Health debunked these claims, saying, and I quote, "No death at Lima Hospital was due to lack of oxygen," close quote. It said the management of the Lima Regional Hospital, Pomeroon Supernam, is aware of malicious and misleading reports being circulated regarding the unfortunate passing of a patient on August 23, 2025. According to Regional Health Officer RHO Dr. Ranjiv Singh, the article circulating on social media is false. He categorically stated that the claims of an absence of oxygen and suggestions that the hospital was unprepared are false, malicious, and without basis in facts. Dr. Singh said the facts are that the deceased, a 19-year-old male, had a long-standing medical history of sickle cell disease, with frequent hospital admissions over the years. He was also recently suspected of leukemia and was referred to the Georgetown Public Hospital Hematology Clinic, but unfortunately, he did not follow through with his referral. However, reliable sources told Nightly News that the claims made by the former Member of Parliament are true, and I quote, "The story from the RHO is a cover-up," end quote. The source said, and I quote, "They have only portable oxygen and they're transferring patients to Saudi," close quote. The source said too that most recently, and I quote, "a maternity mother was transferred to Saudi because they don't have any oxygen source. It's a disaster and it's only oxygen cylinders they have," close quote. We were also told that, and I quote, "politics has taken over the healthcare system in Essequibo and that should not be," close quote. This is Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Residents and commuters along the East Bank corridor are set to benefit from improved road access and reduced traffic congestion. This follows the commissioning of the brand new 4-lane highway linking Great Diamond to Busby Dam. Jada June reports.
On Monday, President Irfan Ali and the Ministry of Housing and Water officially commissioned the $10.1 billion Diamond Craig Highway, marking a major step forward in Guyana's infrastructural transformation. Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Minister Susan Rodriguez, reminded that the blueprint for the highway was conceptualized since 2009 by the then Minister of Housing and Water, now President of Guyana, Irfan Ali. According to Rodriguez, the government saw the need for such infrastructure project.
People of the East Bank needed this road network to ease traffic congestion.
Minister of Housing Colin Crowell, in echoing similar sentiments, added that the highway forms part of a broader strategy towards infrastructural development.
It's a faster route for commuters. It's a cheaper path for businesses. It's a smoother journey for families. From farmer to entrepreneur, worker to student, this highway carries not only vehicles, but the hopes of a more modern Guyana.
The new roadway stretches from Great Diamond to Busby Dam on the east bank of the Demerara and is expected to significantly ease the chronic traffic congestion that has long plagued the East Bank corridor. President Irfan Ali in his address emphasized that the highway is not just about transportation efficiency, but also about boosting economic activities, improving access for communities, and laying the foundation for further development across the country.
Roads are not just for cars. They're the arteries of development. They're the veins that carry commerce, industry, agriculture, and tourism. That is why this commissioning today is not just about Busby Dam to Great Diamond. It is about the future we are building.
The project represents a continuation of the government's push for infrastructural modernization aimed at accommodating Guyana's rapid economic growth and expansion, providing access to industries, commercial zones, trade, tourism, and other key economic drivers. Officials highlighted that the $10.1 billion highway also forms a key link in improving connectivity to Temeri, where the Chedijagan International Airport is located, and to the wider national road network. The project was executed in lots by Falls Construction, Guyana American Construction, China Railway First Group, NABI, and H. Knott and Sons. The newly commissioned Diamond and Busby Dam is the third phase to the project, which also links the first phase Mandela to Eccles and the second phase to Eccles to Diamond phase. Jada June reporting for HGP Nightly News.
The government of Guyana has officially commissioned the new Guyana Prison Service headquarters at Lusiknan on the east coast of Demerara, marking a major step in modernizing the nation's correctional services. Tiana Cole is on that story.
The Ministry of Home Affairs on Monday commissioned the newly constructed Guyana Prison Service GPS headquarters, now located at Lusiknan, East Coast, Demerara. This relocation represents a transformative milestone in strengthening the correctional system, with a focus on rehabilitation, reintegration, and improved efficiency. Minister of Home Affairs Robson Ben, in delivering the feature remarks, said that the government's effort to revolutionize the prison system extend far beyond infrastructure. He emphasized that the ultimate goal is the rehabilitation and reintegration of inmates into society, ensuring that correctional facilities play an active role in reducing recidivism.
We're talking about reforming, rehabilitating, making them separate from society so we could return them safe to their families, to their communities, so that they could make useful contributions to the society.
He urged prison officers to balance security with humanity and respect.
I don't want prisoners beaten. I don't want prisoners disrespected. The prison system is a rehabilitative, reformatory venture, occupation, facility.
Director of Prisons Acting Nicklon Elliott in his remarks noted that the new headquarters is part of a larger national initiative to enhance infrastructure and improve conditions for both inmates and staff. He stressed that correctional facilities must prioritize self-improvement and personal growth if rehabilitation is to be effective. Architectural changes, he added, are being implemented to foster environments that encourage skill building, education, and healthier interactions.
Capacity will be enhanced. The condition of service will definitely be enhanced. Our operational outlook and efficiency will be improved. And staff will be working in a very comfortable and modern environment.
The relocation of the prison service headquarters, now situated within the Lusitnan prison compound, provides significantly more space for expanded administrative operations, improved staff coordination, and closer integration of security and rehabilitative functions. This strategic move is geared at strengthening oversight, enhancing operational efficiency, and fostering an environment where safety, rehabilitation, and reintegration work hand in hand to reduce recidivism. Additionally, newly constructed cell blocks were unveiled, each carefully designed to expand capacity, improve and enhance safety and security throughout the facility. Tianako reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity has launched its quote-unquote blueprint for prosperity, which outlined the party's bold roadmap to a new era of opportunities for Guyanese. According to the party, it is expected to transform Guyana to the extent that every citizen is prepared for success. Antonio Day reports.
Simona Brooms, a former minister under the David Granger administration, now leader for the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity on Tuesday, unveiled her party's manifesto under the banner, Blueprint for Prosperity. Brooms, who received an emotional introduction to the podium from her daughter, stated that the ALP's manifesto will allow citizens to access their economic wealth and freedoms, which are a birthright rather than a gift from the government. The ALP leader noted that too many talented and qualified youths are excluded from the country's availing opportunities. She contended that this must and will change under her leadership.
Hopelessness among our young people, lack of opportunities. ALP, we're here because we must fix that. That must happen no more.
The party's presidential candidate said that the Blueprint for Prosperity proposes a realistic agenda to build a prosperous Guyana, where communities are empowered, public systems function effectively, and citizens are provided the resources to live a quality life. She emphasized that youths should have access to universities and educational institutions within their communities. She also pointed out that it is disadvantageous for students to leave their abode to find opportunities in the capital city. Brooms instead advocated for local access.
We're saying that every young person must be able to go to university in the region in which they are. We're saying that young people not only have technical institutes, but we must refashion them with science.
In her message appealing to young voters, Brooms pledged to provide handsome incentives for their academic pursuits.
And we must give them an incentive, not some handout. Our resources, $100,000 in 5 years, $20,000 a year, and you're talking about cash grant. We will do wealth transfer.
Brooms reasoned that Guyana's economy is growing rapidly due to the oil and gas sector. This wealth must benefit all citizens and not just a few. The ALP foresees the establishment of a legislated citizens oil dividend program to distribute a portion of oil revenues directly to citizens annually. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
We have more news for you on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
The One Guyana Floating Production Storage and Offloading Vessel has achieved first.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you feeling. All the cheesy, too much ripples and more combo pack up flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Enjoy Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack. Best mix, best value.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
How to vote.
Having been identified as the voter you claim to be, you will be given a ballot paper that is stamped at the back on the top section as well as the bottom section in your presence. On the ballot paper, provision is made for you to vote twice, once at the top section where you vote for the general election and once at the bottom section where you vote for the regional election. Look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the top section of the ballot paper and mark your X in the empty box next to the party symbol. Then look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the bottom section and mark your X in the empty box next to the party's symbol. After you have voted, fold the ballot paper as shown by the election official, dip the first joint of your right index finger in the ink provided, then place the ballot paper in the ballot box. You will then have to peacefully depart the polling station. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back. The Ministry of Education has assured parents, students, and the teachers of the KWAKWANI Secondary School, which was destroyed by fire over the weekend, that steps are already being taken to minimize disruption and to rebuild the school to higher standards. Jada June tells us more.
In the early hours of Sunday, August 24th, a fire tore through the southwestern section of the KWAKWANI Secondary School in Pattville, Region 10. Preliminary reports from the Guyana Police Force indicate that the blaze quickly consumed the entire area. The fire destroyed sections that house the Information Technology Laboratory, the head teacher's office, the library, the staff room, washrooms, and the auditorium, which was being used for classrooms. Within hours of the incident, a high-level team from the Ministry of Education, led by Education Officer Administration, Mr. Stephanie Harvey, supported by the Assistant Chief Education Officers, Mr. Sherwin Blackman and Mrs. Sadia Kadir Grant, visited the school to assess the damage. The ministry has assured that arrangements are underway to ensure classes resume by the last week of September 2025, the new academic year. Additionally, officials have pledged that the school will be rebuilt expeditiously to modern and higher standards, guaranteeing safer and more resilient facilities for students and teachers. The KWAKWANI Secondary School, located in the Berbice River, housed approximately 428 students. Meanwhile, the cause of the fire remains under investigation. Jada June reporting for HGP Nightly News.
With just 5 days remaining before the September 1 polls, young people are being urged to not quote-unquote gamble their future, as their participation in the democratic process determines the trajectory of the country over the next 5 years. These messages were conveyed by Prime Ministerial candidate for a Partnership for National Unity, Director Finance. Antonio Day has that report.
Director Finance, Prime Ministerial candidate for the Partnership for National Unity, dispelled the notion that youth should abstain from voting during a public meeting in Pleasance, East Coast Demerara on September 1, 2025. In her address to a large crowd of APNU supporters, Finance urged young people to critically evaluate Ghana's governance structure and consider if their future is secure. To solidify her argument, she alluded to scenarios of alleged corruption in the public service.
When we talk about corruption, we're talking about young lives being lost. When we talk about corruption, we're talking about the injustices that you all. We took office in 2015, and from 2015 to 2020, everybody in Guyana knew that we were weeding out the corruption, but they did not like that.
Finance noted that the APNU assumed office in 2015 increased the minimum wage by 77%, raising it from $39,540 to $70,000 by the end of their tenure. Political pundits will note that this increase for public servants took place without oil and gas resources. In 2019, under the David Granger regime, public servants earning between $100,000 and under $1 million receive an 8.5% salary increase, while those earning below $100,000 receive a 9% increase. Contextually, finance highlighting the country's economic trajectory due to its current economy asks youths if their lives witness any significant improvement under the incumbent.
Spending over $1 trillion, and they come to your communities and they look at your children, they look at the young people in our community, and they say the only thing we could give you is a drain cleaning contract. That is disrespectful.
The APNU Prime Ministerial candidate urged youths to not gamble their future, but to vote for a government that will prioritize the needs of public servants and all and sundry. Lloyd Femi, another young voice for the Partnership for National Unity, in a powerful appeal to youth in St. Cuthbert's mission, shares similar sentiments.
Because every decision you make in your life is based on politics.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to urge young people, take that out of your thought. Elections is important.
Yeah.
And what's important is a policy that you are under.
Many youths in the public service, Femi flagged, are currently faced with victimization due to their varying political ideologies which do not match that of the incumbent. The young man to this end urged this age cohort to consciously vote for a government that will stimulate economic development.
You need proper policies and programs that will help you come out of poverty. And that's what the APNU coalition will deliver to you.
Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Regional News. I am Antonio D. We begin with news in Trinidad and Tobago. The People's National Movement has criticized the Trinidad and Tobago government for backing the U.S. military deployment in the Caribbean to fight drug cartels, labeling the statement as unfortunate, reckless, and sinister. Former Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Emery Grong expressed concern that Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar's remarks about not engaging CARICOM on the issue undermine regional solidarity. Brown stressed the need for a united CARICOM response, criticizing the Prime Minister's suggestion that member states act independently as harmful to regional cooperation. He deemed her remarks a failure in her role regarding regional security. While the U.S. has deployed military resources against Latin American drug cartels, Brown condemned the Trinidad and Tobago government's response to the U.S. Vice President James D. Vance's comments linking the country to crime emphasized that international issues transcend political party lines. Brown also condemned Trinidad and Tobago's ambassador to CARICOM, Ralph Maraj, for discussing regime change in Venezuela, arguing that such statements undermine CARICOM's mission and mocks the region's responsibilities. Turning attention to news in the Bahamas. The Bahamas political landscape is heating up as the ruling Progressive Liberal Party and the opposition Pre-National Movement clash over crime plans before the next general election, expected before September 2026. The PLP criticized the FNM's crime plan as a mere recycling of ideas, emphasizing their own five-pillar strategy that they claim is the most comprehensive in the country's history, resulting in a significant drop in major crime and increased gun seizures. FNM leader Michael Pintard, launching his party's 10-point crime plan, counters that Davis' administration lacks a thorough approach to crime. His plan includes hiring more police officers, restoring trust in the police force, enhancing community policing, and implementing rehabilitation programs, all aimed at creating safer communities and better choices for youth. Pintard described the FNM's plan as tough, balanced, and achievable, stating that they are ready to deliver real change. And I quote, "Bahamians, we face a real crisis, but we also have the means to overcome it." End of quote. Pintard stated that if elected, an FNM government will implement a recruitment drive based on manpower audit to enhance police presence where needed. Continuing, the FNM will strengthen oversight by amending and fully prepared to meet today's challenges. He said an FNM government would move to expand virtual hearings to cut delays in courts, digitize case management, and build a modern forensic lab so that evidence moves faster. Pintard said that while the F&M respects the independence of the courts, it will appeal questionable decisions, ensure system that has resources to do so, and work with the police to better supervise those on release. In July, Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles reported a 14% drop in overall crime, with 1,223 cases this year compared to 1,420 in the same period of 2022. Murders fell by 26%, with 44 homicides in 2025 compared to 60 in 2024. Knowles reported that 64% of cases were solved and 84% of victims were aged 18 to 45. And finally, with some international news. A huge manhunt is on the way for a heavily armed male suspect after 2 Australian police officers were shot dead and 1 injured in an ambush at property in a small rural town in the state of Victoria. Police described the situation in Port Punka in the Australian Alps, some 300 kilometers northeast of Melbourne, as an active incident, with hundreds of personnel deployed to find the suspect. Officers were attacked as 10 of them attended the property to serve an arrest warrant, which Australian media said was for historic sex offenses. Police say that the suspect escaped by running into a bush alone after shooting. Officers were still trying to find the man's wife and children. Victoria Police Chief Commissioner Mike Bush said the 10 officers went to the property on Tuesday at about 10:30 local time. Thank you for watching. I am Antonio Day. Goodbye for now.
Charlotte Street murder-suicide leaves 2 dead, child injured. Missing and extra ballots uncovered for discipline services. GECOM still puzzled how that could have happened. Ministry of Health DISPELS claims that 19-year-old's death at Lima Hospital was caused by lack of oxygen. Is the RHO covering up the incident? And KWAKWANI secondary school students to be back in classroom by late September. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.